When you think about your life and how your life has flipped, first, perhaps you were in one direction and you decided to go in a different direction. Or maybe you didn't decide. Maybe life just had you move in a different direction because something very special happened. How often do you choose the change? How often does the change choose you? Welcome to Time to Come Alive. My name is Valerie Hope, and I am your host. When every week I have the opportunity to speak to someone or bring you somebody that not only will help us become more conscious, but create an opportunity for more connection. And hopefully, as a result, you become even more creative in your life and in your world. This week, we have a fantastic guest. I'll introduce you in just a second, but I want to make sure that you don't miss a single episode. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you go to www.timetocomealive.com and subscribe so that you get every single episode in your inbox. Or you can also go to YouTube when you watch this video and make sure that you subscribe on YouTube. That way you get a notification whenever a new video is posted because we want to make sure that you're always in the know. Now, the guest I want to introduce to you today is such a good friend. I can't believe we were just talking and realized that we have known each other for 10 years. I feel like I knew her when she was a kid. Well, she still is kind of a kid. um, Ivy Correa. Oh my goodness. So Ivy, I got to tell you guys, Ivy and I met in like 2010 because we both worked for Hyatt. At the time, I was working at the Hyatt corporate office, and Evie came to Chicago. We both went to Chicago for a training. I was there to just kind of learn a little bit more about this particular part of the company, and Evie was starting off in Hyatt. But the cool piece was that Evie wasn't just starting at any Hyatt. She was at the Hyatt Regency Aruba, in the Caribbean island of Aruba. And I don't even know how we first started talking, Evie, but I just remember, when I found out that you were from Venezuela, and I'm like, Venezuela, oh my God. I think that was all it took. And then
Exactly.
connected and even from that time we were like inseparable. We went to all these events with all these people. We hang out and talk and joke around. And the times that I've had the fortune to visit Aruba, you were always such a great hostess. You took me to experience
Yes.
true Arubian cuisine, as laid over, for example, which is the best like fried
Yes.
fish on the island. Anyways, I was just had so much fun, Evie. But that wasn't really the main reason I told you I think come the time to come alive. The fact that you're a fun loving and kind and generous host was just one small piece. A big part of it is I learned so much about the Peruvian culture, and you are always such a avant-garde. You're like always on the trying to do the next thing, trying to make sure that
Yes.
you are a hustler, Evie. And I just admire so much of that spirit in you. And your life has taken so many different turns over the 10 years that I've known you. I thought, oh my gosh, we need to have a conversation on Time to Come Alive. So thank you for saying yes and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Super fun, super nice to be here in your show. I think when I saw you doing this, I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what you should be doing. This is exactly Valerie. No, I'm very thankful. Thank you for having me in your show, Valerie.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited to have you here. So, first of all, what else should we know about you besides the fact that you're from Venezuela, you live in Aruba, and you're just a phenomenal human being? Anything else we should know about you?
Well, I've been here. I've been here in Aruba. Well, I'm from Venezuela. I came when I was 8. My mom came over to the island back then. Yeah, Venezuela. A lot of people left the country abroad. My mom came here 2 years after I came, and it was completely different for me. We came from Maracaibo, Venezuela, huge city, everything, and then coming to the island was like, wow, it's so small, completely different landscape. So yeah, so I came here when I was 8, and I've been here since then. So I have now my family's here. I have 2 brothers also. I have 3 beautiful kids. So I'm a mom of 3. And yeah, life is here. It's beautiful. We're blessed to be here in this beautiful islands.
Absolutely. And because you wanted to share the spirit of the island with us, you
Yes.
actually you went, you left your house so that you could be in a piece of a part of the island that first of all is near and dear to me, but also to you. So tell us where you are so that we get a sense.
Yes. So the number one reason that I said before was I'm a mom of three, so I had to get a space where there's kids are not screaming around. But also I picked this location because it's the Hyatt here in Aruba. I'm sitting at the Palms restaurant, and you might get all the noise behind. And I wanted to show a little bit of the
Please
sunshine.
show us, show us.
Show. All right.
Yeah.
So this is the beach.
Oh,
Hold
I
on,
hear
maybe
you
you
there.
don't
Let's
see
see.
it.
Let's
There you
get
go. Look at that.
let's see. I think it's a little frozen right now. Let's see if we can see. Oh, come on. There we go. That's the shot. Yes. Oh, postcard. Yes, the beach.
Exactly. So, yeah. I
Uh,
thought this is the best location scenario for this, isn't it?
it is, and especially because so much of my time, of course, the only reason I was going to Hyatt was because I wanted to be there
Exactly,
in the
exactly.
hotel. Not that I wanted to, but that was exactly where we needed to go. Um, I want to make sure that we are actually streaming your shot as opposed to your computer shot. So I want to make sure because your phone is what's connected right now. Give me one moment here and I'm going to make a quick change. But tell us a little bit more about the space. Tell us about the island because there's a lot of people who probably
Well,
heard of Aruba before.
yeah, so first of all, for those that don't know where Aruba is, we're a very small point close to Venezuela, South America. It's the ABC Islands, so Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. And yeah, Aruba is a beautiful island, and we have many hotels, amazing beaches. Right now, of course, with all the situation, we don't have that many tourists, but it will pick up soon. We're all positive for that. And in the meantime, yeah, we get to enjoy the quietness and the peaceful of the island. It's instead of being at home, or in our office, we get to go very quiet beaches with our family. Where there's not a lot of people walking around. So yeah, beautiful.
Fantastic. Ah, okay. So now I figured out what was going on because we had some. This is island. This is island connection. And the island connection sometimes is not as straightforward, right? Just like every island is a circle. We had to do some circular things in order to make sure that we
Exactly.
broadcast well. So show us again. Give everybody a glimpse because I think maybe the screen was blacked out at the time. Go ahead and show us everybody. So make them jealous if they're not in an island resort right now. This is where Evie is hanging out today.
Exactly. Ah, isn't this lucky?
That is
Look at
beautiful.
this.
I miss it. Ah, that's so cool. And that's
Yeah.
where in that particular spot, if I'm not mistaken, at that restaurant, Palmas, is where people no, is this where people can eat on the beach?
You can in the beach, and this is like the outdoor terrace where you can have lunch.
Yes, very
Yeah.
cool. Thank you so much for being there. Yay! It brings back all the great memories. So
Yes.
Evie, one of the things that I remember so clearly about you, obviously in the 10 years that I've known you, there's so many things in life that have already changed. But you are always just so filled with enthusiasm for new ideas, for new things to do. So what have you been up to in the last few years? I know, growing your family has been a big part of where your time and energy goes, but what are some things that you tell us about what your life is like these days?
Well, before, like for the last 3 years, I left the hotel business. So I was working here at Hyatt for almost 4 years. Then I went over to the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. I worked there for 3 years. And when we decided to grow our family, because my daughter has 12, and then my 2-year-olds, when we decided to have another baby, I said, I did miss a lot of the time with my older daughter, and I said, if we are going to take this route or this decision to grow our family, I needed to make a change.
Mm,
Um, and that was unfortunately, yeah, leaving the hospitality career because it did take a lot of time. I loved it, but you had to make decisions. So I did that. I went to work for a local business that promotes different brands. So I did there like a portfolio manager, and that gave me the time to be with my daughter. I stayed pregnant almost like after 7 months. I remember my ex-colleagues were like, "Oh my God, you're pregnant already?" I'm like, "Hey, stuff to get to do when you're not at work anymore." Yeah, so I had my 2-year daughter, and then we just had another baby boy. He's 7 months. So yeah, I had a lot of time on my hands, and in the last 3 years, one of the things that I always wanted to do was to start a small business.
Huh?
So we started last year with all the planning and the marketing and your business plan and all that, and we were supposed to start the business in January, which we did, but right after this entire situation came up. And I say this entire situation because I don't want to even say the name anymore.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah,
You're not.
we
You're not. We're not saying the names. We're not.
yeah, we're not
Okay.
saying it.
Okay.
So
Situation. I like that. This
yeah,
situation.
so it will be over. So, well, we're stopped now, and when through the like for the last 3 months, we said, okay, we're gonna give it a try. The tourism did drop, and we're gonna try to do some pop-ups with Mosha cards. The business we came for was Mosha cards. Um, Mosha is we gave it the nickname of my daughter.
Okay.
So Mosha is like a short for hermosa. When you say a baby like Mosha, Mosha. So it sticks, and we said like, we're doing this for our kids.
Yeah.
So well, we said we're gonna start with Mosha cards, and we did some pop-ups here and there. So that's pretty much what my last 3 years look like between
Okay.
the babies and starting this new project.
Project. Got it. So okay, let me just for people that didn't understand, hermosa is beautiful in Spanish, and the
Yes,
shortened diminutive version of hermosa is mocha. Now you
X
said cart or card?
carts, like cart, like a trailer. It's like a food truck.
Oh, food truck.
Carts.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's movable. Yeah, but it's not a it's not a food truck. It's like smaller. So
So what do you sell? What was the product?
well, it's funny. So the intention was to rent it out for events
Mhm.
and with chocolate fountain. So we import Belgium chocolate, and we have this Belgium chocolate.
Okay.
And we have commercial fountains for events for all the weddings and corporate events, and that's how it started. That was the initial intention, but with how everything switched,
Yeah.
we included waffles.
Oh.
So no, it's like waffles with fruits and the chocolate. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I think it's ironic that it's Belgian chocolate on a Dutch island. Did you get any? I mean, Dutch
Ex-
chocolate just doesn't have the same ring. Sorry,
yes.
sorry,
No. Well,
Netherlanders.
there are a lot of Dutch and European, but when we talk like, okay, what's the best chocolate? Of course, you're gonna go to the Belgian chocolate. So
Of course, only the best for Mosha cart.
exactly.
All right, so the Mosha cart is kind of on hold right now
Yeah.
as the situation is figuring itself out and everything.
Exactly.
So what are you doing in the meantime? What's life looking like in the meantime?
In the meantime, when we did these pop-ups, I realized that okay, we were all excited with the Mosha car, but there was something missing, um, because we didn't wanted to do it just for the money, and we saw that because of the situation, there were so many people losing their jobs, and the economy went completely down. That there was something I didn't feel connected with. So right now I'm doing research on how could I connect like a bigger purpose for the business. and something that, yeah, you feel that you're giving back, not only to the community but in different sense,
Hmm.
and that's the path where I'm at. I haven't figured out yet how that's gonna work out. But yeah, I'm in that discovery. So what can I do, is Evie, to give back, not only to start a business and to look for the financial stability, but for the circumstances we're at, we should be doing things with a bigger purpose.
And so what was that moment? Can you remember the moment where that's what you realized? You know, clearly you saw there are so many things that are so many other jobs and careers and maybe people in your life that were impacted negatively, right, during this whole situation. So what was that moment that you decided, you know what, I need to connect to a higher purpose or a deeper purpose here?
When I was, we did a pop up. We were getting a little bit of the business going, and even though I thought I would be like, yes, excited, and it's working. It's not a lot, but we're doing some sales. Um, but it didn't feel, there was, I cannot explain what it was, but it felt, when I saw the news, I see people close to me, that their kids don't have, their things, their school, their clothing, uniforms to go back to school. Like, you're posting all these promotions on social media to get attractions for sales. It kind of felt guilty. Like, I know people are struggling out there, and you're doing so much effort in the marketing part to get the sales, and it didn't felt right. I cannot say what it was, um, but I said, then we had a second wave, and we said, okay, maybe this is a time to stop and see exactly why is this like that.
Okay.
So one of the things, I'm doing is that I'm going to work with a foundation here.
Hmm.
Yeah, we don't have established what it's gonna be like, but to work with a foundation to give back to the community,
Hmm.
and that feels more me. If
So
I would be like, when we did the first pop up, like, everybody passing by, oh, what is this? I was like giving away, and my partner was like, sweetheart, like, I see what you do, but you cannot give away all of that. Like, you need to do sales.
they have to pay for the waffles.
Exactly. And I was like, no, but it's just a kid, or you just want to try this and that. So I don't know. I think it's just a part of me that it feels good to help others and not only to take.
Yeah. Oh, I get that. And it's interesting because I don't know if you and I've talked about this, but it's something I've been really present to over the last, I've been in business for myself now 2.5 years. And I remember last year around this time, maybe a little later on in the year on November, I started feeling what I call divine discontent. And for me, divine discontentment, I was like, okay, I love what I do. I feel like it's something that's really aligned with my gifts and my talents. But there's maybe something about the way I'm doing it that just doesn't feel as satisfying as much anymore, or maybe a little bored, a little restless. Like there's got to be something else, right? And
Exactly.
so glad I had some conversations with my pastor. I started to talk to some of my mentors. And what I really got present to was that my job was not to build my business. My job was to develop my community. And when I got that straight, it was all of a sudden like opportunities to develop my community came to me left and right. And what that meant to me was, hey, somebody needed some, I had a conversation just yesterday with a friend who is interested in publishing a book and really figuring out like what the best way, what's been stopping her from doing it. So we had this beautiful conversation about how to bring that vision to life. And also, when I see an opportunity to mentor someplace, or if I see something that I can offer a group of people that may not necessarily purchase my services, but there's a way that I can
You
give
can
my gift, right? You know,
exactly.
and that's the thing I saw recently on Facebook. Somebody, I may have reposted it, but it was basically, you know, all of us have received a gift, you know, God, spirit, universe, whoever, Allah, anybody, that whoever you recognize as that high
Exactly.
being has given us talents, has given us gifts. Do we keep the gift wrapped in a box in the closet, or do
Exactly.
we take the gift, open it up, and start to give it? And that's
Exactly.
really where I thought, it really changed the game for how I do my work.
Yeah.
And that my work is not my business. My business only is a vehicle to distribute my talent and my gift. So it sounds like for you, you had a similar awakening. Like, okay, this isn't just for this cart, for this business. It's really about supporting my community. It's about really helping and connecting with
Yes.
people. Wow, I
Yes.
love that.
Yes. And I'm not there yet. As I said, I'm doing a lot of readings. That's why I love watching your podcast too, because hearing the stories of others, that there's so many people, like you say, awakenings. It's an awakening that you see, like, wait, but something's missing. Like, there's so much more.
Yeah.
And what it is, I think, is the journey where all of us need to go through it. And we just need to get that moment where, like, okay, this is it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing that's really interesting, because in my experience, the times that I visited Aruba, and I've had some meaningful conversations with a lot of people. By the way, anyone that's at the Hyatt that's watching this, that have interacted with, so wonderful to reconnect with you and this beautiful island, Dushi Aruba.
Dushi Aruba.
I remember that. But I'm curious about the environment for you to start having these types of realizations, this awakening. What's it like in the Arubian culture, right? When you think about small island, very dependent on hospitality, and and in some cases, in my memory, change wasn't always easy to come by, right? It wasn't always something that just flowed. So I'm curious about what has it been like to be in this
Yeah.
space in
You
an
know, I think the entire island is learning for change. We know, like, I've been in different video calls, conversations with different groups of young entrepreneurs. You see the governments, the island. We realize that we cannot only depend on tourism. So
mm-hmm.
everyone, all the conversations are going into change. We need to do more. What else has Aruba to offer? What can the young entrepreneurs do for the islands to grow the economy? So I think all the entire circumstance is just giving us so much to learn and to develop, and it opens your eyes, um, for that, for change. And trust me, I think the impact to the culture is huge. Is huge. Everybody is, and you see, even of how everything is working out. You see so many young entrepreneurs trying, taking the risk to come up with new stuff. So many people that are doing planting their vegetables, doing project for kids. Um, it's incredible, and I think it's hard now for the tourism, but in the long term, I'm sure that we will all benefit from this change.
Oh my gosh, I can just imagine. And what a
Yeah,
challenge, right? I think the one thing that I've been so impressed with during this whole situation, as we're calling it, right, is the fact that people have become so much more entrepreneurial in just their own lives, right? It's not
exactly.
even about business. Sometimes it's how do you create an experience for your family, especially if everybody's sitting at home and you're tired of sitting at home together doing nothing. Like, okay, people find new and interesting activities. I know with my brothers and I have three brothers, and although three of us live here in Dallas, Texas, one lives in Alabama. We don't all necessarily see each other on a regular basis. So ever since the last 5 6 months, we've actually started these Zoom calls, the four of us, just the four of us, to connect and have conversations. A couple of Fridays ago, we were on Zoom for 4 hours, just talking about life, about what we've learned and our experiences. And it was so beautiful, but that would not have been, I don't know,
It's
if, we
forever.
would have probably done it in person perhaps, but to actually go out of our way to schedule time together like this. So this has really brought a whole different level of awareness to how to live life fully. So no, I'm no surprised and really excited to hear how that's happening. So what else are you hearing in these conversations? What's the biggest challenge that people are facing in trying to come up with new ways to
Challenge, I think, to come up with new ideas
yeah.
and come up with new ideas, and everybody's like looking at themselves, how can I contribute to the island? So there are
Mm,
groups that are doing podcasts also, like locally, for like motivational topics. Others are how young entrepreneurs can start the ideas. It's all around the creative content. So it's beautiful. It's great how, how you see all that develop, because as you said, we were very comfortable.
mm,
We were very comfortable. Where we live in a beautiful island. Tourism is great. Everybody have their own lifestyle, and now we're not in that. That comfort zone is broken. It's not there anymore.
mhm.
So it makes a huge difference.
And for you, Evie, what are some of the things that you're hearing that inspire you? What ideas or what kind of people or yeah, what's showing up for you that's inspiring?
What is showing up for me, that goes back, then what I can do for honors, is that you see different people close to me, others people talking, they have so many ideas and they want to start with something, but they don't know how. So I've been through the path to starting my small business, and I'm like, hey, maybe I can help those young entrepreneurs to walk them through the process,
Mm,
and and see what assistance I can give in that.
yeah.
Um, so maybe that's an idea. I think everything is in a development stage.
Hmm.
Everyone is seeing what they can do and how can you support others.
That's lovely. And
Yeah.
remind me when we finish here, I have a good friend of mine, Nadia, who lives in Trinidad.
Uh-huh.
And she and I talk a lot about different things. And she, obviously as an island also has they have some of their own challenges as it relates to how to deal with everything that's happening right now. So I'd like to introduce the two of you because I think there might be some great synergy. If not
Sure.
between the two of you, you can also support maybe connecting some of the people on Aruba with people in Trinidad. Who knows? I don't know.
Exactly, and that's another topic that we should open more to see what's out there, what Aruba can offer internationally than just locally.
Yeah.
We don't have to reinvent the wheel. We
Hmm.
just need to use what we have to bring, I don't know, exports. Maybe we have aloe on the island, so how about exporting aloe? You never know.
Ah, I'm sure
So
there's a lot. I remember going to the museum, the aloe museum. I
yes,
believe it's yeah, the aloe vera.
the
Is
aloe vera. Yeah.
that might be interesting. I don't know. Maybe something in that Mosha cart should have some aloe product,
Right? Why not? Why not? Eat aloe with chocolate, all the antioxidants and the benefits for your skin.
right? Or no, maybe there's some sort of skincare with chocolate and
With
aloe.
chocolate.
There's yes.
Hey, don't give me too many ideas. You know me.
No, that's why I'm giving them to you. Go, do, be.
Yes, yes.
Um, and so I'm curious. One of the last conversations you and I had, you connected me with your cousin, Sasha. So how is Sasha doing? First of all, I don't want to put all her stuff out in the on the
No, no, she's doing great. Well, maybe for the audience here in Aruba, we get to go to the school until you say high school, and we're in the Dutch system, so there's high school, and then there's like a next level before you go to university. So she went to Holland now. She's extremely happy, and we push her to go because of all the situations. She wasn't sure, and she's great now. She's doing her university in economics.
Mhm.
She's living on her own, doing her own thing. So yeah, she's very exciting.
Please tell her I said hello. She's so lovely. It's so nice to connect with her.
Thank you.
And to the point of going back to this idea of really connecting people and great getting better ideas. When you connected me with Sasha because you thought perhaps there's a way I could mentor her and support her again in my commitment to develop my community, and my community is everywhere in the
Exactly.
world where I can support someone. She and I had a conversation about her love of the French language. She speaks English, Spanish, Dutch, papiamento, and also working with her on her French. And so I was like, oh my goodness, I know some people who speak French fluently. Can I connect you with them? And so she took on a new friend. I don't know how that friendship is going now, but from Montreal. So I want to thank my friend Sana for connecting me with his. I think it was a family friend of his, a girl the same age as Sasha. And I'm like, oh, cool, she can practice her French. But the world is so small.
It is.
We're only one or two connections away from other people. And I think, as it comes to extending our gifts, extending and expanding, all it takes is a conversation or two.
Exactly.
And I'm always driven to like, okay, who can I introduce you to? Who can you meet? Where can you have a conversation with that might open up your eyes? So tell us about some of the people that you're connecting with on the island. Who are the people that you seem to be drawing to you, or people that you are drawn to?
Right now, there are a lot of well, there are different people that are going to the coaching, the spiritual coaching. So that's getting a lot of my attention. There's this gentleman that he started a new journey, and he calls it um, enlightenpreneur.
Oh, what is
Yes.
that? Enlightenment.
So he helps you. You become an entrepreneur when you're more connected with your journey. So that's his name. It's an entrepreneur. I just met him, so I can say a lot about how he does his work. But that's just perhaps an example of the things that people are coming up with.
Mhm.
And yeah, like you said, it's time to connect with everybody else. We're here in the island. The island is very small, so you don't really need to go through a Zoom call. Like you see everybody, all the time. So
Mhm.
that's great. But I do connect with. I have family in Chile. I have friends in the United States, in Europe. So yeah, even now you have that time to get to connect with them and see how they're doing, and you talk about everything. What have you done for the last 3 years, like you said, what you did with your brothers,
Yeah.
and because we have that time now, and that's precious.
That is precious. One thing that never ceases to impress me about you is that no matter what change comes your way, whether that's a pivot in your role, because you were at the Hyatt as in the spa, then you saw, oh, Four Seasons, I'm gonna go there, or no, the Ritz, right?
The
Ritz.
Ritz-Carlton, yes.
Yeah, sorry. So Ritz, and you went there, and then obviously as you're changing now and devoting more time to your family, and now entrepreneurship, there's all this stuff, but there's always a sense of enthusiasm and aliveness whenever you're taking on something new. Where does that come from, Evie?
I don't know. Like, I have another friend. She's like, you're always so energetic and so enthusiastic. And I think it's because of being always willing to do what what feels right at the moment. Not to stick where you're not doing something meaningful, or your full attention is there, your heart is there anymore. Take new challenges, and the constant change gives me excitement. Like, I cannot sit at home. Now that I'm at home, I cannot sit quiet. I'm always doing DIYs. I'm painting. I'm like, my partner's like, can you just sit? I cannot. It's, it just happens, and I think that's why I tell my friend more. Maybe if you start doing more things that you like, or calls your attention, is more of your interest, then you can constantly be with that energy, because you're constantly evolving yourself, getting to know yourself, learning new things. And
Mm-hmm.
now many of us have that time to do that even more, to discover ourselves more. So yeah,
Mm.
I think that's what it is. I don't know.
Well, I heard a few things. One is that you're really committed to spending your time doing things that are meaningful to you, right? So always connecting to that excitement, that enthusiasm, whatever it is that helps you feel that way, that's where you move, right? That's where you move towards.
Exactly, and it will be fine because, for example, when I left the Hyatt to go to the Ritz Carlton, everyone was like, "Are you crazy? Why would you do that? You have everything here. You're in a great company. You're getting the opportunity to grow. Why would you leave?" I'm like, because there's more.
Mm.
You know, I've been here and there's more. I want to know more. What is there? When Ritz Carlton came, I just saw it. It's something unknown, something to learn from, and have even more opportunity to grow. And it
Mhm.
was like that. And, I think not having that sense of being scared to take decisions
Yeah.
and challenges is what keeps it going. I have people that I know that we talk to and they want to do things and they're scared. I say, you don't be scared, because I mean, if you're doing it and you're passionate, you're enthusiastic about it, it will be fine. And some people are like, yeah, but financially I cannot make huge decisions. I get it. When I was doing changes, drastic changes in my life, I had just my daughter, was just me. So now that I have three kids, there's so much more going on. I understand you don't make drastic changes anymore, but it's important for you to keep developing and doing small changes for yourself.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. Some
Yeah,
tweaks for yourself. And it is, for so many people, change is actually quite scary, right?
yeah,
And I think just the human being in general, our brains are wired for homeostasis, right? To maintain, to survive through something. It's above all costs. Now, some of us have
exactly,
a higher tolerance for trying something new because we see that there's going to be a reward by trying something new becomes a reward, not something to fear.
exactly,
And I think so the
exactly.
motivation might be different. So what's Kaido like? I know is he a risk taker like you, or is he more like a stable, comfortable guy?
He always says, "Oh, what I love about you is that you just come up with things. Like, you're not scared. You're like, yes, this, and that." So, but he's a bit more quiet than me. But at the same time, when I come with my crazy ideas, he's up for it. So that's good.
Mm, good. So I think you said a couple things that are key. One is you start to listen to your own internal voice, letting you know when it's time to move and move in what direction. But also, to have a partner who's willing to also support that, who's willing
Yes.
to nurture that, and with whom you can probably rely on to kind of keep things steady and focused.
Yes.
There's
Exactly. I
balance.
need I need I need a little bit of a balance. Like,
Balance. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Oh, I totally get that. So, one thing that's interesting for me about you and your spirit is the fact that you're also a person that's really committed to learning. So, you're
Yes.
not only just doing stuff, you also want to grow yourself. So, what are some of the things that you've learned in the last few years that have made a difference for you?
In the last few years, well, I mean, starting my small business, I did a lot of marketing studies, and economics, financials,
Mm.
law, because at the end you need to know taxation laws. And at one point I said, it might not be late to become a lawyer.
No, it is not.
Yeah, so there's as you go and start doing new things, you realize that there's so much to keep on learning. It's like it's infinite. Whatever you do, no matter how small it is, you you have to learn something
Oh my
new.
goodness.
That's and
Ah.
that's and that's what I think is very exciting. And there's no limit. Like psychology, economics, marketing 101, leadership. Yeah.
Yes. It's interesting when I hear sometimes people second guess the opportunity to learn something new or to try something new. I I was thinking about my parents. So my mom right now, both of my parents are in their 70s, first of all. So that's one thing. Just and there's so many right now during this situation, right? People in that age group are being really conservative about where they spend their time, activities they do. But my mom, first of all, is so restless right now. She's like, oh my gosh, I can't be around a bunch of old people. I want people that are doing something and up to something. So she's getting connected with some organizations right now that she can, do some things over Zoom. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
I talked to my dad yesterday, and he and his wife have decided to buy a new house and moving, and they're moving like on their own. They
Oh,
they got
wow.
a dolly and a truck apparently. That's all they're like. Yeah, we're just moving the big stuff. We're taking our time, and I'm like, oh my goodness, at this point in his life to move to a new house and all this stuff. So finding a way to change is so important. But I also hear in the things that you're saying about it takes some learning. Change just for change sake sometimes
Yeah, no,
doesn't always work.
exactly.
What I hear from you is that you're always eager to prepare so that you're ready to take on the change that's coming up. Or while you're in the change, you're also finding ways to, okay, let me get ready, get all my information together. So then when I make that change, I know what to do. I know how to do it. I know how to do it in a way that's smart. And so
Yes.
I want to connect those dots because I don't see you as a person that's just changing for the sake of
No, no, no.
and reckless. I do see you as someone that's really committed to making sure that you changes are meaningful and that you're preparing yourself in every step.
Yes. Yes,
So,
yes, that's important. And you shouldn't be doing things just crazy, but you need to prepare for it. For example, I have a colleague when I was at the risk call, and I said, I'm planning to leave my position. It's like, how are you gonna do that? I mean, the salary you have here is not the same when you're not in the hotel. I'm like, yeah, but you need to prepare for it.
mm,
You need to prepare. I've been, you pay out debts. Like it takes at least 3 years planning for you to get there. It doesn't just, okay, today I'm gonna quit my job. There you go. Let me start something new. But it when you want something, it does take the planning part behind it and starting it. And doesn't matter if it takes 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. If you don't start somewhere, you will never get to the end where you want to be. So
mm,
everything I've done had that process. Okay, if I want to live this, what do I need to do for me to be, you know, okay to make that change? And
mm,
there are different aspects, your family, if you have kids, financially, if it's going to make a financial impact for you, and then what are the next steps that's gonna happen
yeah.
afterwards. So everything had that process. When I wanted to start Musha Card, it took me a year and a half because I wanted to write my own business plan.
Mm,
So I did a lot of research, read many other business plans, asked friends around, and in that process, I learned myself. When I
mm,
had to do my financial planning for the credit, I have no idea about finance. I know basics, budgeting and forecasting, but really preparing financial forecast, it's a whole different level. So then you go into that, let me learn about that topic. And that's how you go and you learn and you grow and you make things happen.
mm.
And you know me, I'm the kind of person like I need to do everything. That's not good. You learn
Hands
that
on,
too.
hands on.
You learn that too. And there's a point that you cannot just do it by yourself.
Yeah.
You need your support system. In your family, you need your support system. Starting a project, you need others people feedback. It's from friends, from others that are also professionals in that area. It's very hard to do it on your own. I think that's been one of my biggest like learnings,
Mm-hmm.
that you need others. It's I've been always doing. I want to do everything at home. I want to do everything by myself, but no, you have to delegate.
Yeah, that doesn't always work to do it on our own. It might be sometimes the reward, right? I think many of us that end up or start up doing things on our own, we feel so rewarded by having, look what I did,
I
right?
did.
There's a little ego trip that happens when we get that win.
Yeah.
And sometimes we just can't go as far. We can't sustain it as long when we're on our own. So tell us a story. Tell us about a time when you have to pull in some support or ask for some help on something that you were hoping to do on your own.
Well, that's when we started Mosha Card. I was trying to do the social media. I was trying to take care of my kids. My baby was like, what, 5 weeks old, was just born. And I was like, ready. Okay, let's get to work. I was trying to do that, do my job. And I say, no, you can't, I cannot. I mean, then there's no point for you to do something if you're at the end of the day exhausted.
Hmm.
So I asked Kylo, my partner, like, okay, babe, you're good in writing. He likes to write music. I'm like, you're good in writing. So how about you take care of the social media? I love photography. So I'll take the pictures, but you will do the posting because for me, even thinking what I need to put in the post was like, okay, no. So he was doing that, and then I asked my mom to help me with the kids from like certain hour to certain hours so I could focus and recharge. So that was a little bit like a little story, how things developed when I needed to ask for help, and not just do it by myself. And it felt so much better. I still had to like, can you show me before you do the post? I need to I need to read it though. just yeah,
Yeah.
just let me see. And even with my kids, my mom's like this, and I would always keep an eye, but you need to learn to let go, you
Mm.
know, in every aspect.
Oh my gosh, no, I totally understand that. So I think what you've been sharing is there's such a methodical way to approach change. And unfortunately, in some cases, we don't always have a choice, right? Whether or not
Exactly.
we change or not, we just have to learn, okay, what can I do to make the best out of the situation? And of course, yeah, leaning towards the stuff that you're good at, the things that have meaning for you. That's that's a discipline though. I tell you what,
It is.
it's a discipline because the world and our friends and our family and our neighbors and whoever in our surroundings will push us sometimes or pull us to something that is comfortable for them or
Yeah.
they've seen other people do comfortably but doesn't necessarily speak to us. So it is a discipline to stay connected to what has meaning for you. And then also it's important to realize that, like you said, finding the tools to learn so that you can educate yourself, but then more importantly, who do you ask for help is so meaningful. Now for your business, obviously it's still fairly close to your heart. So, asking Kaido to help as your partner and your cheerleader makes perfect sense. Getting your mom to support also makes perfect sense. Like, you found people that you know you can trust. And although you still
Yes.
wanted to have a hand, that is so key. And I realized that even for myself, I'm really not only very disciplined about where I spend my time and energy. I make sure that the things that I do have meaning, but the people with whom I do things, the people that I connect with, also are people that are meaningful.
Yes.
I don't,
Yes.
yeah, I've been this whole situation in the last few months, especially. I have more time, but the time that I dedicate are dedicated to people and to activities that have some special meaning or have a,
Exactly.
yeah, nah, I don't
Yeah.
throw away my time and energy with a
Yeah,
lot of that.
time is very precious, and that's a good point. You need. I read somewhere that you need to make sure you're surrounded with people that will help you grow, or there's something that you have friends. I know many people, but my core of friends that I really go to when I need help is very small because
Mm,
I also see that's very, I know it's difficult, but not everyone is open to teach you or to share their experience or to say, hey, let me give you a feedback.
yeah.
Most of the time, not maybe because they don't want to, but also because they're in their own worlds doing their own tasks, which you understand. So I also look for that when I need to recharge.
Mm,
I have this friend, Kimberly, that I got her like, hey, can we have a coffee? Like I'm exhausted, my mind is blocked, and those are the kind of person you just sit And as we're talking, your mind is like, it's like, I don't know if it is their energy or you just stepped out for the coffee or that person tells you one word, hey, how's this going? And it just flows. I'm like, I love when we have a coffee because, your mind opens back and we need to have those friends in our surroundings. That,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, I call them the sidekicks. And sometimes they're not about your business, they're not
No,
about
no, no, exactly.
but there's just something about who they are and how they're being with you that helps you just okay. I can just relax and take in and share whatever needs to happen in the
Yeah.
conversation. No, so true. So true. Nice. I'm so excited for you, Ivy. Always so proud of you and the things that
Thank
you're
you.
doing and thrilled for the spirit and energy in which you do things.
Yeah.
What what else should we know about you? What would you like to leave people with? Especially if people from Aruba are watching this and listening to one of their own share her dreams and her goals. What would you like to love?
Well, I think for us living here in Aruba, we need to use this time to develop ourselves. Like I said at the beginning, there's so much more. There's social media, there's internet, that we can use the time to develop that and see what we can share our knowledge, our skills with others. I
Yeah.
think we're in that process, and I know many people is in that process, and it seems very important to do that and continue that. So I even tell my daughter when I see her like not doing anything, I'm like, sweetie, like use your time for something meaningful. Read something that's brings your attention. I don't know how do you grow a tomato plant?
Mm,
Doesn't matter, but use your time. We have a lot of time on our hands, so use it wisely. I
ab-
think that's very important.
Good. Go
Yeah.
learn something, develop
Yes.
yourself, and then use your time wisely and invest it.
Yes.
Give it. I love that. That's wonderful, wise advice. I can already see your kids are going to be a force to be reckoned with. No one gets out of that household without being up to something.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Watch
Yes.
out, Mosha Cart. Watch
Yes.
out.
Yes.
Ah, Evie, it's been so wonderful to spend time with you today. Thank you so much. I know the beginning had some,
Yes.
figuring out a way to make sure that we connect and have this conversation. But I think it's so important in the light of everything that's been happening in the world that, you bring a ray of sunlight and sunshine to not only because of your setting and the beautiful island of Aruba, but also because of who you are as a person and our
Thank
energy and the
you.
joy and the liveliness that you bring to the things that you do and the people around you. So thank you for being that for me in my life.
Thank you. Same to you. Same to you. You're also one of those friends when you talk to creative energy comes alive.
Same here, and it's been that way for 10 years. Look at that, and across the miles and the time that we've been able to maintain that. So I so appreciate that. Thank you for
Thank
being a
you.
guest today, Evie.
Thank you.
Yay! So hang out here,
Just
but I just want to go ahead.
no, no, no. Just wanted to like send you some sunshine.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Thank you. Thank you. So here's sunshine for everybody that's been listening and watching to the wonderful Ivy Correa sharing her dreams, her passion, her excitement, coming live from Aruba, from Oranjestad, right?
Yes.
Yes, from Oranjestad, Aruba in the Caribbean. Thank you so much, Evie, for being here. And those of you
Thank you.
tuning in, do not forget to subscribe by going to www.timetocomealive.com so you can get these episodes straight in your inbox. And you can also subscribe on the YouTube channel if you prefer to get a nudge from YouTube, letting you know when a new episode is up. So thank you all so much for tuning in. We will see you next time. In the meantime, have a great rest of the day, everyone.
Hi.
Bye.